right, let's jump right in. Today, we're exploring something that's, well, it's way more than just a music album. It's part political statement, part spiritual ceremony. It's described as an ancestral trance opera set in a techno-indigenous tomorrow, and it's called Babaylan Return to the Future. I am not in between. I am beyond. Just let that sink in for a second. This is a declaration from the project's hero. It's not just about rejecting labels, it's about being something far more profound. A path, a portal, a promise. You gotta hold on to that idea because it's pretty much the key to this entire story. And this really gets to the heart of it all. This is the central question the project asks. What if the solution to our future problems wasn't in some new technology, but in someone or something from our distant past? It frames this whole epic journey to heal a wounded world. So let's meet this hero and get a feel for the world that so desperately needs her. We're heading into the near future, a place where ancient spirits are waking up, responding to a world in crisis. Okay, so picture the Philippines just a couple of decades from now. The world is reeling from climate change, for sure. But there are other, older wounds too. The scars from colonialism run deep. And it's in this broken, fragmented world that something very old and very powerful starts to reawaken. And this is who answers the call. Her name is 𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗔𝗧𝗧𝗏. She's a transgender matriarch, a spiritual leader for a new age. And get this, she's described as half coder, half chanter. How cool is that? A perfect fusion of ancient spirituality and future tech. She doesn't just live in one time, she literally walks between. But to really understand 𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗏 and her power, you gotta look back. I mean, way back. So who exactly were the Babaylan, and why is their legacy so absolutely critical for the future this story imagines? So, before Spanish colonization, the Babaylan were the spiritual heart of their communities. They were the healers, the wisdom keepers, the ritual leaders. They weren't just some figures on the fringe of society. They were absolutely central to keeping everything in balance. And this is where the history gets really painful. In those pre-colonial times, people with gender-fluid identities were seen as having immense spiritual power. They were like a bridge between worlds. But when the Spanish colonizers arrived, they brought a rigid worldview that couldn't understand this. So they persecuted the Babaylan, labeled them as witches, violently tried to erase their traditions. What was once revered became demonized. So how do you even begin to heal a historical wound that deep? Well, this project's answer is in its very design. It's about transforming a piece of art into a powerful ceremony of reclamation. And this is a really crucial point. The album isn't just for you to listen to. It's something you're meant to participate in. Every single element is a deliberate choice, a ritual designed to decolonize the way you perceive the world and reconnect you to a different way of knowing. The level of intention here is just incredible. Look at this. The language is Hiligaynon, the ancestral tongue of the Babaylan. That alone is a powerful act of decolonization. The musical key is D minor at 432 Hz, a frequency believed to harmonize with the earth. The tempo is a steady 84 beats per minute, which is kind of this trance-inducing sweet spot. And it's all built on a 4.5 Hz theta frequency, which is used to get you into deep meditative states. Nothing here is an accident. This whole design takes you, the listener, on a very specific journey. It's a clear 4-step process. You start with the reawakening, an invocation for 𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗏's return. Then you move into confronting the trauma head-on. Then comes the healing, where sound itself becomes a kind of digital medicine. And finally, it all leads to rebirth, a vision for a whole new world built on these reclaimed foundations. So this entire artistic ritual, it's all building toward a very specific and powerful vision of the future. It's a vision that's deeply rooted in an idea called queer futurism.
So what is queer futurism? Well, it's not just about adding more diverse characters to a sci-fi story. It's about completely reimagining the future from the perspective of those who've been pushed to the margins. In this kind of future, marginalized people aren't just given a seat at the table, they're the ones designing the table, building the house, and charting the way forward.
And this vision is brought to life with some absolutely stunning imagery. We're talking about cyber tribal regalia, armor woven with digital thread, ceremonies that take place in underwater coral cathedrals. It's a world where AI can generate the faces of your ancestors, where neon tribal patterns glow, and where gender-fluid bodies in a state of trance are seen as majestic and powerful. At the absolute core of this vision is this simple, revolutionary declaration: trans is sacred. It's not a debate. It's not a request for acceptance. It is stated as a divine truth, reclaiming trans identity not as some modern idea, but as an ancient and sacred way of being. And maybe the most radical idea of all is how this future redefines power. See, 𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗔𝗧𝗧𝗧 is not a queen or a president. She's a guide. Her role is to remind people of their own power, not to hoard it for herself. In her world, true strength comes from the collective, from the community, from shared ritual. Power rises from the ground up. And this is Babaylan's ultimate message, whispered to a world that desperately needs healing. It's not a command, it's an invitation. An invitation to rise up from the wreckage, to remember the wisdom that was stolen, and to find the courage to begin again. And that kind of leaves us with a final question to chew on, doesn't it? This project is a really profound look at one culture's buried history, but it makes you wonder, what forgotten wisdom, what secret traditions or erased histories from our own pasts might hold the very keys we need to unlock a better, more balanced future for everyone?